Hello, gamers in New World. It's me, Lemoni. And today I want to kick off a new little series with all of you that I'm going to call Top 3 Tuesdays. All right, so here's the lowdown. This week, I've got it picked out. I'm going to do it. But for this series, I'll be showing you my top 3 builds for whatever the topic is that week. Whether it's a strict just one weapon, if it's a strict category like mutators or a certain expedition or something, anything you want. If it's a meme, I want all of you to interact with me in the comment section of this video so that we can pick the top 3 for next week. So we'll be starting top 3 Tuesday with my top 3 damage spear builds, and I'll show those off, picking on my buddy Dan. But like I was saying, hit the comment section below, give me everything you would want to see, one topic, one weapon, one anything for top 3 builds. And we'll be doing this every Tuesday from now on to give you something a little spicy for your New World week. So before we get into it, I just want to say thank you all for the support that you give me every single day. I appreciate every single one of you. As always, please keep doing that weird YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, tell your grandma, your grandpa, everybody you know. I'd appreciate it. As always, follow us on Twitch. We stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 10:30, 11 a.m.-ish start time, and we go for about 5 hours, and that is Central Time. Follow us on Discord. Join the Discord. It's linked below. Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff. And if you want to support me directly, feel free to hit up my Patreon where I do some extra like content releases early. You get extra input. I ask questions, stuff like that. So now, getting into top 3 Tuesday. Again, this week is going to be spear damage builds, but next week is up to all of you. I want to see it in the comments section. I'll connect with you, I promise. And let's get into it with this first build setup. All right, so here we are with spear build number 1. A lot of you might be familiar with this one. This is the one, my bread and butter. It excels PvP, PvE. You can use it in a lot of different situations. I think it's more of a PvP build, a lot of CC, good stuff here. So what are we working with? We have Skewer, we have Vault Kick, and we have Sweep. So let's break it down. Skewer, big move. You get a bleed on him. 10 seconds. We get an Empower if it crits, and we get a lot of crit bonuses. Skewer is a really solid bonus to the build. It gives you some solid damage output and then gives you that damage over time, right? We will then, the bread and butter of a build like this is actually aggressive maneuvers. The bread and butter of any spear build is aggressive maneuvers, but between your abilities, you are going to want to roll or dodge or whatever armor you're in. It doesn't really matter, whatever you pick to use, and then use your abilities. So we get huge cooldown reduction, just keep cycling through. So we're going to Skewer them, try and get the Empower. We'll roll and then Vault Kick and get a little stun. Also get that Empower chance when they're below 50% health. And then we'll dash again or roll or whatever, and then we'll hit them with Sweep, and then we'll try to coup de grace them. All right, so now how do we actually break this down? First point, precise jabs, light attacks, 5% crit chance. Nice little solid thing. You throw in your 2 light attacks, and the reason why is because on the second hit of light attacks, we get a 10% cooldown reduction. Just adds to it. If you don't get your cooldowns reduced after dodging and then hitting an ability, that's always on backup. We'll take finishing blows just for an extra little execute here. Vault Kick, we get an Empower on, but then the big thing is we get a mega cooldown reduction. When you roll and then hit Vault Kick, you will have a huge cooldown reduction. It is approximately 50% of your cooldown, so you can just keep things rolling and keep cycling through abilities. Dash ability, dash ability, dash ability. We get 15% crit chance while they're bleeding. That's why I think Skewer is an insane amount of DPS build. And then we take exacerbating crits to extend debuff durations on the target whenever we crit, because I think this point is worthless, because why not just, you know, we get increased bleed if we crit. So why do we even take that? We'll then throw this on because every debuff we can apply to the target, we get 10% more damage. And then on this side, we take Deadly Consistency. So if you ever heavy attack, we get a little bonus there. We get Refreshing Reach to get that 15% cooldown reduction. But the big reason why is because we take Coup de Grace, and that counts as a heavy attack to get us more cooldown reduction, meaning we kind of get a double cooldown reduction on Sweep, and then Stamina on critical hits. What are we thinking for perks in this kind of build setup? I would take Bleeding Sweep, or that causes the bleed on Coup de Grace, and I would take the debuff applied by Skewer with the Skewer perk so that we get an extra debuff that counts towards exploited weakness. I don't think the Vault Kick one is super worth. It's kind of random, so I don't really run with it. But this is the first setup. Now, gearing wise, you can play medium, heavy, light, whatever you want to do, totally up to you, and as much dex as you want. I'm just giving you the build framework. So let's show it off a little bit, and I can show you how it works. All right, gamers, so with this build, you can run whatever you want. I'm just going to give you the framework, but rotationally, what are we doing here? Big thing, just keep dashing in between your abilities. You have 2 options. You can either start from behind, this is what I like to do, and hit them with Skewer from behind to start off with an Empower, and then get your CC chain going. Typically, I like to use both of my abilities first. before using vault kick so that I get a giant cooldown reduction. So Dan's being a little goon here, but I will always dash in between abilities. So we'll go like this, we get in power. We'll go like this, get him down. And then they might move around, so it's better sometimes to vault kick like that, but I can just keep going. And then you just keep going. And you just keep going. And then we get cooldown reduction on that big kick there, and then we keep going. It's just like that. Try to keep your bleed activated, and then always, you know, you can set up kicks. The big thing is when you set up a kick, then maybe you want to skewer. Because if you can get that auto crit with skewer, you get a free empower, right? So that's actually huge. Let's start up another duel just so I can show you another little rotation of it, if the game lets me. All right, here we are. So big things to take away. Skewer, we need to crit as much as possible. So it's nice when you can start off with CC. Typically, I'll end with sweep because it's not a hard CC like my stun. So it's good to start off with kick as well. So we could start off with kick. I can reposition from behind, force the crit. And then we get him in this cycle. I'm in a focus build right now, so I don't have a ton of damage. But we go like this. I missed, but that's okay. He's still stunned. I can go like that. And then we go, and then we line up skewer. And then we go like this. And it's just dancing around cooldowns. And you look at how fast, if you can get them in that little rotation, it is easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, here we are, build number 2. What's changed? Impaler side, exactly the same. This is kind of your bread and butter on the Impaler side with these two abilities. I think they're really solid. They give you a giant burst of, you know, empowers when you stack them, but then we have that cooldown potential of continuous motion, aggressive maneuvers, and then with debuffs, exploited weakness is so much better, in my opinion, than reserve strength. Just to be honest, I think we get way more damage potential, and it's way easier to maintain. We get crits, we have the light attack stuff, it's all good, we keep them bled. You're good to go. Now, where do things change? We go on the zoner side. You'll see that I opt for Javelin. Essentially what we're doing is we're swapping sweep with Javelin. This is a much more PvE focused in a sense, but it's really solid for PvP as well if you want that single target CC that kind of locks him down, puts him on the ground. So what am I doing here? We're just going to max out Javelin. We get more damage if we can hit him from farther away. Gives us a little bit of chase down potential and hitting those annoying people who start to run with rapiers and all kinds of stuff. If we can headshot them, good for you. But we also take increased crit chance when we're hitting somebody at least 3 meters away. So that means our Javelin throw is going to be a little bit more spicy. Still taking invigorating crits to get that stamina on critical hit. Essentially what you're doing here is it's just a replacement for sweep. It's a little bit more consistent in my opinion because sometimes hitting sweep is a little weird. It's not great in PvE, and coup de grace especially not great in PvE because it's harder to hit, but just with wonky hitboxes in PvP, it's just not really amazing. So what are we doing for perks here? I will again suggest taking the skewer one just for an extra debuff here, but the big one we can get out of Javelin is Sundering Javelin, and this puts like a 20% rend on the target when you hit them with Javelin. And it's got a pretty high uptime, meaning you can almost rend cap yourself. You can rend cap yourself if you're taking Perforate as well. And we'll talk about that in the next build, but you can use this for insane CC potential, insane lockdown, and that rend is really nice in both PvP and PvE. Now let's go into the actual build itself. All right, option 2, you can do something like this. Let's say, you know, you need to clear some distance, they're running away. Start off with a knockdown, close the gap, get up next to him. It takes them a while to get up, then we start our cycle. Go like this, right? It's really easy to use that spear up close, so don't sweat it. And just like that, keep them locked down. I should have dashed behind him there. Keep them locked down, and then you can always do your little stabs. Just like that. And in a pinch too, you'll see I didn't dash on that last vault kick. You can do that. You'll still get 30% cooldown reduction even if you don't throw the dash in. So it's not as important to dash on a vault kick. It's great, but if you need to just lock down the target really quick, don't do it. All right, and here we are with our last spear setup, and I'm going to say this is a heavy PvE high damage spear setup. I'm going to call it the Rend Lord. So zoner side is going to be pretty similar to what we saw before. We don't have to take Deadly Reach, but you can if you'd like to. I ended up not opting for it. It's not that huge because the only thing it's really going to apply to is Javelin. So we're going to use Javelin, big damage, great. But the reason why we take Javelin is for the perk, right? We take Sundering Javelin, ton of Rend, we'll keep our stamina on crit. But here's what we're changing. We're going to still opt for skewer, but we're dropping Vault Kick. Vault Kick is decent in PvE, but it's not really that amazing. We get not a lot of damage out of it. And you are a solo render because we take Perforate. So between this giant chunk we get on Javelin, and then we also can get Rend stacks per strike on the target with the Perforate. So each strike will apply a Rend. Overall, you can pretty much Rend cap yourself, especially if they're over 50% health. You get Mega Rend, but we're still going to keep Skewer in there for the solid and power potential it has in PvE. Again, that's 20% damage for 10 seconds. That's a lot of time. We have all of these Rends being applied. We have the buff from Skewer because you take the Skewer perk, and then we have all the exploited weakness. Again, that 15% crit with bleeding is nice, and we still have the aggressive maneuvers to keep forcing cooldowns. So, perk-wise, we want Sundering Javelin. We might as well take Perforates. It's a Fortify, so why not go for it? And then Skewers, it's just another debuff to apply exploited weakness. But it's going to be the same kind of similar rotation, but the big things you're doing here are just Rend, and pretty solid damage. So I will give it a shot here on Daniel. All right, so this time around, this is Boss Dan. All right, so imagine I'm in a PvE situation. What am I gonna do? The big thing you want is to apply Rends first for the rest of your team. So we'll hit him with the Javelin. He's Rended. We're running up to the boss. You're gonna wanna do this, more Rend, and then you're gonna go into Skewer. And then you can keep your Javelin up. It's still a big chunk of damage. And then there you go. And you just keep doing a rotation like this. You'll see already I'm doing a lot more damage than I was before on him because I have the Rend stacks applied. So if he's a boss, maintain Javelins, and then just stab, stab, stab. And this is going to be our high damage PvE setup that isn't as like PvP friendly. You don't have the CC, but I'll show it to you again. We get lots and lots of Rend. I don't actually have Rending Throw on my Javelin right now, or Sundering Javelin, but even just the Rend applied from this, watch how much harder my Skewer hits from behind. I mean, that's almost double what it was hitting before. And then imagine we throw the Javelin. That Javelin is hitting so much harder, and we'll just keep cycling through on the dash, right? So there we go, and this is back up. It's easy, high damage. It's a ton of fun to play with your spear, and I would suggest it. It's got still that, some CC potential between the Javelin throw and your last stack of Perforate applying the stagger. So give this one a go and let me know how it feels for you. All right, people, that's my top 3 spear damage builds for this week's Top 3 Tuesday. What I need all of you to do is go into that little comment section down below there and drop what you want to see next week for top 3 builds. You want to see a weapon. You want to see a category of something. You want to see memes. You want to see the top 3 things that are going to kill Dan. Let me know. Drop that comment. I'll check it all out, and I will get it started for next week. Dan, thanks for being a target dummy today. How'd that feel?
Not great.
All right. You down to do this next week? Same time? Stab you up a little bit? All right, beautiful. Beautiful. All right, so as always, what I need all of you to do is do that weird YouTube stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. Ring that bell down. What do they need to do? Who do they need to tell?
Send me money.
Yeah, send in money. Tell everybody you know. I appreciate you. If you want to connect with us, feel free to join the Discord. That's linked. Follow us on Twitch. We stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, somewhere between 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Central Time. We go for about 5 hours or until Dan gets tired. What else do they need to do, Dan? Twitter, TikTok. What's the last one? Huh? Tell me.
Instagram.
We don't have Instagram, so what do you need to do? Go to my Patreon if you want to support me directly. Feel free to hit it up. I do early content releases, extra line of communication with me, input on different projects I'm working on, and it's just that direct support line. So as always, thank you to all my Patreons. Thank you to Jacob, Thuggius, Shane, Gill, Anarino, Ajuro, Nathaniel, Joseph, Generic Guy, Ralph, Bob, Florian, Blue Beagle, GDB, J Kitchens, Dexter, Rich, Josh, Michelle, Nade, Rich, Somanex, and 247 Managed Network Solutions. Thank you to every single one of you for watching, but most importantly, thanks for letting me just make fun of Dan. Dan, any final thoughts?
I think I'm good.
All right, next week, top 3. Dan will be here. He's the punching bag. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. But most importantly, thank you to every single one of you beautiful people for being you. Appreciate you. Peace.